kind of intense.
Fixing things that
snap after snap.
A lot of his drivers have been
Purchased a Bud Light.
you can just get away with it.
Capability to do that.
Created a new identity.
Oh gosh, the time we wake up.
Here we go. Here we go.
He works a graveyard shift as a truck driver.
It's approximately 8:25 p.m. doing alcohol compliance checks in Athens County.
That's the agent going in first.
A few seconds later, an underage confidential informant follows. She's there to see if this restaurant will sell her a drink, even though her real ID clearly shows she's only 19 years old. A team of agents with the Ohio Investigative Unit waits outside, listening to what's happening from a small microphone transmitting inside her wallet. We're not showing you faces to protect their identities. The CI walks out minutes later to let them know she got served.
We sent in a confidential informant. She came in, purchased a Bud Light. You did not ask for identification. You have to make sure you ask for ID, okay?
Yeah. I know, I've been here a long time.
Okay. Well, you just need to make sure you ask for ID.
This is the first of more than a dozen compliance checks this night, the third time they've worked with this CI.
I was nervous, and you know, I feel kind of goofy because I walk in there and the people look at you weird, like, why are you trying to buy this? Do you really expect to get this? But the first time it actually worked, I was shocked. I was like, wait, what do I do with this now?
The reactions she gets vary from confusion
I'm 19. I'm 19.
to unconcerned. Despite looking at her ID, the clerk at this gas station sells her a beer.
He looked at my ID, and then he decided to sell it anyway.
Did that surprise you?
Yes, that surprised me. It's the first time that's ever happened to me.
With one agent always in the store and more waiting outside, she says she never feels unsafe, though it's not your average part-time job.
Yeah, I was really nervous.
Mackenzie Kaloje is a former CI. Now 23, she did tobacco checks when she was 15. She says it was nerve-wracking at first and not something all her peers thought was cool.
Some kids are really positive, like, oh, that's cool, and then other kids were like, oh, you're a snitch.
But Mackenzie has no regrets.
You could definitely see a difference in the time that I started doing them and the time that I stopped. Like, people were a lot more strict, and I think word was getting out that they were doing these checks.
That result is what this team of agents is working towards.
That's absolutely best case scenario. That people will act as individuals and be responsible for themselves and they have no need for me. I would love that.
In Athens County, I'm Emily Reamer, Fox 28 News.
You're getting big every day.
Move over, Duggards. Get out of the way, Goslings. These are the McGees. Rosano Jr., the big brother. Olivia, the princess. Isaac, the curious one. Madison, Sleeping Beauty. Elijah, those smiley dimples. And Josiah, the charmer.
I'm loving it. I love being a father of 6.
Just 5 months ago, the tiny babies were born. 6 wasn't in the plan for Mom Mia and Dad Rosano, but plans changed.
Everything changed. From the way the times we wake up, our activities, when we're able to eat, when we're able to spend time together, everything changed.
Today, all the babies are home, making for a very full house.
What we used to know as normal, it doesn't exist anymore. So we're trying to create a new normal.
That new normal involves a strict schedule.
It's a 24-hour job.
We decided to see what happens in that 24 hours. 8 a.m., Mom and Dad have their last quiet moment of the day, eating breakfast together. But by 9, it's baby time.
He said, Mommy.
We pitched in to help.
Hello.
2 by 2, the babies are brought downstairs.
Say good morning, Mommy.
They're changed and fed, the bottles all color-coded for each individual baby.
Good morning, Rosie. Time to wake up, man.
Then it's on to the next pair.
This is a schedule, young lady. We wake up now.
Once the babies are settled,
Hey, Ron. Hi, Dad.
the army of volunteers start arriving.
6 takes every single body, more than a village.
The family gets a lot of help from church friends and volunteers, making for an even more full house.
You turn a corner, there's somebody. You turn the other corner, there's somebody.
And with extra hands, Mom and Dad can get down to work running a carpet cleaning company out of their house. By noon, it's feeding time again, and this time they're trying out baby food. Some are on board.
She doesn't like it. She's like, you woke me up for this?
Others are not. Around 2, a visitor I know 6 babies didn't want to see. A nurse here to give vaccines.
That's it. I know. I know it.
At 3, another bottle. As the sun starts to go down at 6, it's bath time, an operation with military-like precision.
I know, you drew the short straw. You got me.
Though tonight, there's a weak link in the chain.
You're in. Look, it only took me twice as long as everybody else.
Another bottle, then the babies are back in bed. Shortly after, Mom and Dad are in bed too, but at midnight, we're back at it.
Sonia, Elijah, Olivia, Isaac.
Preparing the bottles for another feeding, but this just isn't any other day. Today, Mia and Rosanna are celebrating their 11th anniversary. So with the bottles comes a surprise for Mom.
Oh my gosh. Look at that.
After the midnight feeding, some much-needed sleep for the parents, but it doesn't last long.
It's getting rough.
Just after 6, the first cry's heard again. Someone's hungry. After another round of bottles, it's wake-up time for Mom and Dad. As the sun comes up, they're putting on another pot of coffee and cooking breakfast. It's 8 a.m., and after 36 bottles, more than 50 diapers, and countless funny faces, our 24 hours are up, and I am wiped out.
I just can't believe it. It's a dream come true.
But for these loving parents, it's just the start of another adventure. Megan McCorkle, ABC 6 News.
I see no obstacles, really.
Plain spoken.
We've had a bunch of knuckleheads running the place for so long that we've lost our way.
No nonsense.
The problem we have is people are leaving Ohio, and nobody wants to come to Ohio.
And he says he has big plans.
See, what I think we shouldn't be worried about is change.
I know Steve. I've known him for only 35 years.
John Kasich doesn't feel he needs much of an introduction here in central Ohio.
I came to Ohio in 1970, and you know, that's 40 years ago. So I think they know quite a bit about me.
But statewide, Democrats are hoping voters remember just one thing about Kasich. He worked for Lehman Brothers.
It's the revolving door between Washington and Wall Street, and Congressman John Kasich stepped right through.
Kasich contends he's Main Street, not Wall Street, and his mantra,
jobs, jobs, jobs.
But until mid-August, Kasich's campaign in central Ohio seemed as low-key as this recent Saturday morning gathering of black Republicans. And then in mid-August, he fired a big salvo, announcing a plan to take the state's Department of Development private, with a board of successful CEOs.
That's a big deal. Putting business people in a position to help guide business in Ohio, that's like falling off a log. That's just common sense.
But critics worry such a board would be less open to scrutiny, might not have properly qualified members, might not even be constitutional.
Well, look, everything we do will be reviewed by the legislature, it'll be open to the press, it'll be fine. And by the way, if the board doesn't produce, we'll get a new board. And guess what? If Governor Kasich doesn't produce, they'll have a new governor.
Head south on I-71 a couple of hours. You see the working man hero approach is playing well among rank and file Republicans.
You come down here, you speak to 1,000 people, they just want to believe in something. That's cool, you just can't let them down.
Kasich says he came back to politics reluctantly, but gets more excited with each passing day, hoping his brand of straight talk will give him the last word in Ohio leadership.
People can look at the record of achievement so that when I say things, it's not just another politician moving their lips.
When Judge Judy enters the courtroom, she comes out swinging. No excuses, no holds barred.
You're not just going to get money. That's ridiculous. You were late. You were late.
20 days doesn't say anywhere in here.
Do you want time or not?
Her reputation as a tough, tell-it-like-it-is judge and her deadpan sense of humor have served her well. After 15 years on the air, the Judge Judy Show is still a ratings grabber that continues to draw in younger audiences.
I really think that the country as a whole is getting a little fed up with this soft excuse mentality. You know, it's never anybody's fault that they use drugs, or really not their fault that they've been unemployed for 3 years, or it's really not their fault that they have more children than they can take care of. It's not their fault that they hit somebody over the head with a bottle. It's not, whatever it is.
I gave it to her.
What do you think is the formula? Do you just think it's the fact that, like you said, people are fed up? And I think you say what people at home are thinking.
That's what I actually think it is. I mean, we're a court program. There are many of them. We've been around a long time. I think that my style of judging has a certain entertainment value, but it's not something that I've fine-tuned for entertainment purposes.
Behind the scenes of the show's Hollywood set, the cast and crew seem to enjoy the judge's in-your-face approach. But if you're a litigant in her courtroom, you enter at your own risk.
And somebody got hurt with the bottle that she used.
You may wonder why anyone would want to subject themselves to the obvious humiliation of Judge Judy's wrath. Maybe they want to be on television, maybe they just want to meet the famous judge. Either way, in this court, Judge Judy has the final word. For Petrie Hawkins Bird, Judge Judy's trusty court bailiff, it's a good gig.
Mine is a pretty boring life, to tell you the truth, when it comes to this set, because most of the litigants are chewed up and spit out by her, so there's nothing to do. You know, it's almost like, you know, I should just have a dustpan and a broom, you know, just sweep them into it and help them out.
She has one that she tells me is spousal support, which is the most ridiculous thing I ever heard of.
Getting chewed up and spit out by the judge is often part of the deal for those who choose to air their dirty laundry on the show.
If it's boring, it's boring. You know, I mean, I use it on television, but, you know, but at least their case is heard.
But in Judge Judy's courtroom, there is rarely a dull moment.
I think that people get themselves into situations, some foolish, some ridiculous, but most just sad.
Although Scheinlin's impatient, outspoken courtroom demeanor is what got her to Hollywood in the first place, not everyone's a fan.
The people who don't like me or my style tend to stay away, which is actually fine.
Getting a driver's license for any teen is a rite of passage.
I enjoy driving a lot.
And for parents, this little card can create a lot of worry. Every year, 4,000 teens are killed in car crashes, and even more are injured. Mark Pertali doesn't want his daughter to be a statistic.
For having a teen driver with very little experience in driving, it's really a concern.
So he's keeping tabs on his daughter through a new program started by Allstate.
Ohio is one of the first states to get it.
The program is called DriveWise, a small device which the insurance company can plug into your car. It keeps track of driving habits.
It will track mileage, it will track speed, it will track hard braking, and it will track hard acceleration.
The device also keeps track of what time you drive, but it's not a GPS, so it can't tell you where you've been. For 16-year-old Paige Pertali, she feels it's an invasion of her privacy.
I was wondering why he wanted to do it at first, because I was thinking that he thought maybe I wasn't a good driver.
Paige started driving 4 months ago. That's when her father had the DriveWise device installed.
Every evening, the data from the device is transmitted to the DriveWise website.
Once you log in, you can check speed, braking, and mileage. For parents, it's a way to check on your teen without being there.
I think it makes my daughter more aware of some of the things that we're looking at her driving and helping her become a better driver.
And although she doesn't completely like the idea of Big Brother, Paige agrees it is keeping her in check.
Sometimes you think about, because you're driving, there's no police around and you can just get away with it, but having that in your car, it's a reminder that it's almost like your parent police.
You're right within range in the blue here.
Paige's dad also makes a point of sitting down with his daughter.
And then you had a maximum speed of 75.1.
To go over how she's driving.
I think the biggest thing with teen drivers today is parents have to be involved.
We found monitoring safety also comes with a bonus. When you enroll a new car into the program, you automatically get a 10% discount on coverage. You can't be penalized for bad driving. For good driving, you could get a discount of up to 30%. And the driver doesn't have to be a teen.
We give discounts for people with good driving habits.
Good driving habits Paige is on the road to learning. In Columbus, I'm Maria Durant, Fox 28 News.